I kind of forgot what it's like to play Zen into an Ana. It sucks sometimes for that nade.
Yeah.
So after my conversation with my idle thumbs Slack chat, who are very much on the side of like nerfing Mercy, and then having my chat with Tyler, who's definitely on the pro side of not nerfing Mercy, I feel like I've become like really radically into the idea of keeping res as is, with the like minor tweaks that they've been doing with like spawn resing and Zarya's bubble and stuff.
Yeah. I'm still curious. Like, I want to see what Mercy plays like if they tweak her, but I don't necessarily know that they're going to tweak her for the better.
I mean, like, here's the thing, is I don't feel like taking away resing from spawn or making her unable to fly out of Graviton to be bad changes.
Oh, no, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Those two make sense. Yeah, yeah.
I just don't think res is broken.
I think there's something about it which is antithetical to the way that Blizzard has talked about their idea for team play in the game. But it's not, I don't know what combination of things will make me think that it's more towards it. I don't know.
I'll be watching.
The more that I think about it, the more that I don't think it is antithetical. If that makes sense.
I always think of the game as like about eliminations ultimately, like you're just trying to kill and get rid of
But it's
team members.
not. It's definitely about team coordination. And
well, yeah.
I feel like her res is not necessarily
Honestly,
against the spirit of that.
Yeah. I was going to say because it's about eliminations, it feels like it's a good ult to exist because it's like countering that. I don't know.
But I feel like that's kind of weird because like you're countering. It's not like you're countering specific things. You're countering like the main objective of the game. If you're talking about eliminations being the objective.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like Nico, I don't think elimination is the objective. But if the elimination is, you're countering like the game.
Right.
I think it's a rather clever bit of design in that if ults are big, showy, fancy moments where you get to hurt the other team or shut them down or somehow disable them in some capacity, versus like support ults, which tend to be about your team, it fits completely in line with their design objectives. You know?
Well, the thing is, like, I mean, like, greater design objective, not like, I'm not talking the minutia. I'm talking, like, what is Overwatch to them?
Right.
Is it a game where teammates work together? And if they have an ability which many people utilize in a way where, you know, they're not in the team for a bit or for a while, and that's just a certain kind of gameplay, not necessarily the character, but if it enables that, I wonder if there's something they can do to... I wonder what they would do if their idea was to change that. Would they like make a smaller? Would they speed reds up?
I think it would be a line of sight check. That's
a line of sight, or like a smaller radius, but like a faster builds.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. The thing is like, I don't think emergent gameplay is necessarily means that the design failed. It's just that players figure out a way around it.
Exactly. I don't think the design failed at all, but I think it's part and parcel that the way people play it is the way people experience it. Therefore, if it's not enjoyable for a lot of people to play against, then that's something to maybe address.
Well, here's the thing that we talked about with me and Tyler, is that it's not enjoyable for people because I think people fundamentally in shooter games don't like the idea of their power fantasy being reversed. And I think that's a very interesting conversation to have.
Right.
I think that's a super interesting conversation to have. I wonder if it belongs in Blizzard's game, where that's the whole thing they're doing. Like, if they're trying to make a good, fun experience, like, I think it's a weird business choice, if that makes sense.
I can understand your point. I don't necessarily agree. I say, coming as somebody who is completely comfortable with completely shitting on the power fantasies of most typical first-person shooter game dudes. I can see where you're coming from, but the thing that we also brought up was that so the typical contention is, okay, it's not very dynamic for a Mercy to like hide somewhere, res everybody, undo and all whatever. And Tyler, you know, like you brought up that Mercy's ult is still counterable if you're really thinking about like ult economy, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of coordination in a way, but yeah. But yeah, like forcing a 2-res is really not that big of a deal if you have something to do something like after it.
Sure.
Let's just have like a 15-hour debate about this, because I would totally do that. Like I would totally.
Too, honestly, because it's really like her ult is really interesting.
I think it's making some interesting choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like ultimately, I would love to see them try something. Like I'm curious what they try, but I don't necessarily trust them to do something that would still be enjoyable for Mercy players.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I'm not sure they can bridge that gap. I think the Torb is throwing.
I don't know what he's doing.
I think in a lot of ways, when people are like, oh, Mercy's low skill, and I think in a lot of ways she has a lower skill floor. I will concede that. I will say that. I think
but I like that
about her.
Oh, yeah. For sure, yeah.
And I think...
I just want... Yeah.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm cutting you off. I'm dead. Hell yeah. Ace, thank you.
But I think it's like... I actually lost my train of thought.
We did very well there, just truth be told.
We're just like... just talking about game design and we're just like not even paying attention. I think that...
ultimately, like... Yeah, go ahead, sorry. No, please, go ahead.
I think Mercy being a lower skill floor is really frustrating to people who fundamentally believe that a first-person shooter is a meritocracy.
That's fair. Yeah, that's definitely not something I've considered.
And in that way, when Seagull said that Res is the ultimate anti-carry, I think that makes a very interesting distinction between when it is acceptable to shatter the notion of this very unrealistic meritocracy by the very idea of carrying, with an unacceptable shattering of the meritocracy fantasy.
It's interesting. I've seen a lot of like cool talk about how like Overwatch is kind of like the anti-carry game ultimately, like at a certain level.
Yeah.
You can never carry. Like you just can't. It's impossible. If your team is that like poor compared to you, and like matchmaking is quote unquote working, you probably can't carry, even if you really, really want to. What do you want to do, Taylor? Oh, we have.
Let's play D.Va.
Do you want to play something else? I'll play something else, Tyler.
No, it's good.
Are you sure?
I'll play D.Va.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Let's get
goofy. Very sure. I like D.Va.
Are you sure?
I've played her a few times. Seems like a neat character.
So in that respect, I think that she could stand to be tweaked a little bit, but I think fundamentally the idea that people like take Res out of the game, I feel that that is a misapprehension.
Oh yeah, if they like changed Res like a lot, or in a way that I don't know, I'm ultimately curious because I don't know, they did shake things up a lot with certain characters, and I'm curious to see like if they were to shake something up with Mercy, like what that would be like. And I hope it's not bad. I don't want it to be bad.
Yeah, because I'm just not sure what they think of Mercy exactly. I don't know. Because like they like with Umbra, we don't want her to be a flanker or whatever, and it's like she flanks though too. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wonder how they think of her.
Yeah, like they talked about Orisa as like an anchor tank.
Right.
But I think something they
feel exactly. I don't know.
But I think when they talk about that, they're talking a lot more about. They're a lot more. Oh, it's Timoni's agnostic about what game system.
Yeah.
So like, Sombra being a flanker on PC makes sense. On console, maybe more challenging.
Right.
It's just a scratch.
Yeah, same thing with like console not playing a ton of Ana. Like, I wonder if they think about that.
Exactly.
You know?
It's so hard.
Or they had
because they've turned Ana into way more of like just a healer. Like, like damage is less important. So.
Exactly. Oh no.
Everybody left, and they were all coming up the stairs.
I don't know why I left the side, yeah.
I was never there. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
He was out of suit.
Yeah.
Oh, he was almost out of suit.
I wasn't cut out for
He was out of suit.
retirement anyways.
That Genji's really low.
Yeah, I think that I don't know. I have a lot of thoughts about this, and the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I think a lot of people are unnecessarily upset.
Oh, for sure. And there's a lot of like
Just
like sexist bullshit built into that.
Right,
for sure.
that too doesn't help.
Oh, for real. That's totally there.